Today will be a day to remember for the rest of your life. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is excited to present the heart of a Hall of Famer program connected by Extreme Networks. With over 100 Hall of Famers participating, we have reached 47 states and countries all over the world, sharing the message that football is more than a game and can teach Americans important life values like commitment, integrity, courage, respect, and honesty.
You have to make right decisions even when nobody's watching you.
Well, respect is not just given out. It's not handed out like a brochure. It's earned.
Today, you are presented with an opportunity to meet and learn from one of the greatest football players of all time. But more important than that, the chance to see that their Hall of Fame life wasn't given to them. They didn't roll out the bed great. They put the work in, on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, in their communities. They made themselves a Hall of Famer on and off the field.
Your feet can't take you where your mind's never been.
Because you can make it, but it's just gonna take a little hard work and some effort and the drive and determination.
And today, you will learn you can do the same thing they did. You don't have to have a gold jacket or a bronze bust to make a difference in the lives of others. It's your decision whether you want to be a successful student, son, daughter, brother, or sister.
If attitudes are contagious, is your attitude worth catching?
It's integrity as well, because when you decide to pursue something and you don't quit, that says a lot about you.
Commitment to excellence. We can all aspire to be the best.
Welcome to a once-in-a-lifetime program, the heart of a Hall of Famer program, connected by Extreme Networks.
You know, it's said you're judged by the company you keep. If that's true, I'm in great standing today. It's an honor to be a member of a Hall of Fame induction class that includes 5 men for whom I have such an admiration and respect. Warren Moon, Reggie White, Harry Carson, and Rayfield Wright played the game the way it should be played. John Madden coached the game the same way. I would have loved to have had any one of them on my team.
To represent those who will come after me, I've been told that this bus will be around for a good 40,000 years. That's a long time. And I'm looking at my granddaughter here. I want my granddaughter, my nieces, my granddaughter's children and great-grandchildren to be able to come to Canton, Ohio to see what their ancestor did and to know there is absolutely nothing beyond their reach. I want to thank you. You've made me feel loved. With the situation that I've gone through, I've gotten so much support from people, not just in New York, but around the world. I give thanks to all of you. This is for all of you. It's not just about me, but this is for all of you. Thank you.
And with that, welcome to Martin Luther King High School in Philadelphia, PA, for our latest installment of the Heart of the Hall of Famer program. 2 big things going on today, guys. We got the kickoff of the NFL season and the kickoff of Heart of a Hall of Famer featuring New York football giant Harry Carson. Let's give Harry a round of applause here, guys. You know, it's kind of ironic, right? We got a giant in Philly, and they're kicking off the season, about 20 minutes away. My name is Jack Pruser. I work at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I am lucky today to be monitoring our session, with one of the greatest to ever do it. Obviously, great player on the field. So good enough, he earned one of those gold jackets. In case you guys don't understand what that means, right? You guys watch football. Some of you guys have played football, whether sports you are. He is one of 382 men that get to wear that gold jacket, right? we have some great Eagles players right now that play. You know, you guys watch Jalen Hurts, you guys watch Saquon Barkley. Harry Carson played not that long before those guys, and he was on that high level where he was making plays all over the place. Just so you guys kind of understand that. One thing that we do at the Pro Football Hall of Fame is we support our mission statement, which is to honor the greatest of the game, preserve its history, promote its values, and to celebrate excellence together. That mission statement is very important. We talk about promoting the values. The values that football teaches us include commitment, courage, honesty, integrity, and respect, right? One thing that I want to ask you guys today is to show respect, obviously your teachers, but to respect to me and Mr. Harry Carson today. With that, I do have to thank a few folks before we get started. I have to thank Extreme Networks for being a great sponsor of this event and allowing us to travel the country and talk to students like you today. I'd like to thank the teachers and staff of Martin Luther King High School for allowing us to come in and speak to you guys today. What a great honor it is to get to hear from one of the greatest to ever do it. Next, I'd like to thank your students, right? You guys, everybody in this room, you know, without this program and without you guys getting to interact with the Hall of Famer, we wouldn't be able to do this program. So, you know, as you guys sit here and listen to the program, think of some questions you guys want to ask Harry Carson today. Next, if you guys are watching live, please feel free to take some photos and tag us at profootballhof.com, and your post may get reshared. Okay, one more time. Let's give Mr. Carson one round of applause. Okay. Here we go. You guys are probably tired of hearing me talk. So let's open it now to Harry Carson here. First question I have for you. You know, we talked about the values that football teaches us: commitment, courage, honesty, integrity, and respect, right? Which one of those really stands out to you and resonates with you the most?
Well, I think that for me, it's respect. Because when you take the field, you respect the opponent, but you also respect your teammates. So if you are going to go out and be rogue and, you know, do your own thing, that's no place for you to be.
Right.
You have to be a team player, and that's what I'm asking everybody to do today. I want you to be team players. And let me just say one thing, and then I'm going to let it go. For all of you who are in this room today, I want you to know that I sat in the same chairs that you're sitting in. And the same thing occurred when I was where you are. There were some folks who wanted to be here, and then there are some people who did not necessarily want to be here. But when we talk about respect, be respectful of those who want to be here. When I was where you are, nobody told me that one day I would play in the Super Bowl, that I would be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Nobody told me that. But let me just share with you, those individuals who didn't have anything to say except to their friends, like they couldn't wait until, you know, after school to say whatever they needed to say. I got the opportunity because of respect. And I want you to respect this occasion today. Okay? We're going to have some fun. So I would like for you to ask or think of questions that you might want to ask me. And then we're going to move forward. Okay?
Awesome. Well said, right? Respect is very important. And I touched on it briefly. Not everybody probably could hear me, but it is so important to respect, right? Your teachers. This is a great program, allowing us to come here, like I said, from one of the greatest to ever do it. Not a lot of students get this opportunity, so please, you know, take into account. how truly blessed you guys to get to have this experience. Okay. I'm going to start with a question of my own, right? Everybody in here is in high school right now, Harry. And, you were in high school at one point throughout your career. Like you mentioned, you used to sit in the same seats as these kids. What is something, we talk about dreams.
Yeah.
And did you ever have that dream? You played football. Did you ever think, man, I'm really good at this. I have a dream of playing in the National Football League?
I never really envisioned myself playing in the National Football League. I imagined myself rooting for different players who were playing. And during that time, coming from South Carolina, I had a t-shirt and I would take some shoe polish and put a number on the t-shirt, pretending to be one of my favorite players. And so I didn't have the opportunity to wear an authentic Jalen Hurts jersey or so forth. But I had the opportunity to act it out. But I never really thought that it would be me who would have that opportunity to one day go to play 13 seasons in the National Football League. But better yet, to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I never could have dreamed of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely right. A huge aspiration out of everybody that's played this game. And we probably have some high school football players in here as well that may have that same dream. Okay.
Wait. Where are the football players in here?
Any football players in
Any
here?
football players in here?
We got one in the front row.
Where are the
Some in
football
the back
players?
over there. And they're trickled throughout the room.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure we have a lot of football fans in here, right? We got one.
Oh, you got a question?
Okay. I see some hands raised, so I think this is a great time to open it to the students here at Martin Luther King Jr. High School. If somebody could raise their hand, please stand up and say your name and what question you have for Mr. Harry Carson. We'll go right there. I saw your hand first. Yep. All right, everybody, quiet down here. He's got a question for you.
My son. So this is what I'm gonna do. Got a question? Hold on to it, you have to run. Okay. What is your question? What are some examples of cars on the land with very persevering doers of those things? As a when I play, it's no different then and now it's injuries. And so you want to play, but if you're injured, you gotta work your way through that. Sometimes you don't give up. But you have to work your way through it. I think that adversity is something like you have to deal with every week in the National Football League. And I had the opportunity to play 13 seasons. And so I was subjected to of injuries and so forth. But I was able to certainly keep my way through and just play the game for 13 seasons.
Well said, Harry. Well said. For those watching remotely, Harry touched on adversity throughout his career. And I think one message we could take from that specifically is we all face adversity in life, big or small, everybody's going through something. So it's very important to take into account, man, everybody has problems in life. So we need to focus on, how we deal with those problems in an effective way. Okay. We'll go one more question here. We'll keep Harry seated here so those listening and watching remotely can hear him. We'll go right here in the front row. If you want to come a little bit closer here, that way we can hear you. If you guys in the back can quiet down, that way we can hear this great question he's got for Mr. Carson.
Come on, big man.
Yep, right there is perfect. Quiet down, guys.
How important do you feel accountability is?
I'll repeat that real quick, in case anybody in the back can hear it. He's asked, how important is accountability to you, Harry?
You know, as a player, I had the opportunity to be captain 10 of my 13 seasons in the National Football League. So I was the one who had to go to guys who didn't necessarily do everything they needed to do to get ready to play. And they had to be accountable to their teammates. And there were times when I had to use some four-letter words and say what needed to be said. But everybody's going to be accountable. If you're going to step on the field with me, you better be ready to be accountable, because I'm laying my body out there for you. I want you to do the same for me. So it's extremely important in a team sport like football.
Thanks for that question, and what a great answer. Right, we hear about, you mentioned you were a captain for 10 years for the Giants. That is such a great accomplishment, right? You have to have the organization, the New York Giants, one of the biggest historic franchises in history, to not only believe you, but your teammates and your coaches to have you earn that C on your chest. I want to dive back here to college real quick, All right, guys, listen up. At South Carolina State, you never missed a game in 4 seasons and were a 2-time conference defensive player of the year. That's a very consistent player, if I've ever heard it. What does consistency mean to you? In and out, putting your head down and working hard. What is consistency that you can apply to these students here?
Well, at South Carolina State, where I played my college football, I had really good coaches who taught me how to play the game. And when I stepped on the field, I wanted to go out there and lead the guys who I was playing with, my teammates. And, I just wanted the team to win. And I wanted to give a full-fledged effort to give the team an opportunity to win. And so even when I had, little injuries, I made myself get out and play the game the way that we were trained to play the game. So I'm very fortunate in that, I went to high school and then went on to college, and then 13 years playing in the National Football League. But, having gone to South Carolina State and the HBCU, it prepared me for that 13-year career in the National Football League. And I give thanks for those coaches, those players who I played with. They were my inspiration.
I think that's very important, right? That dials back to, talking about consistency and adversity, right? You said battling injuries, but you still had to go out there and perform, not only, for the success of the team, right? Everybody wants to win, but you have your teammates relying on you, coaches relying on you, since you're such a high impact player, So it's very important to be consistent, right? That's something these students can, take a message from, right? Whether it's football or whether it's any other sport, but being consistent in your schoolwork, being consistent, showing up for your friends and family. Okay. We're gonna.
There's a hand right there.
There's a hand right there. Okay, we'll go there real quick. Please, come up here and ask your question. That way we can hear you good, and then we'll repeat it here.
Wait a second.
Can you repeat that one more time? Challenge and struggles that you face. We can go whether it's on and off the football field.
Let me just share this with you. Football was never really a sport that I loved. I just sort of fell into football. The first day of practice when I was in the 9th grade, I went to practice, did not prepare I'm from South Carolina, so it's oppressively hot. And so we took the field, went through agilities, and then we went through contact drills. When it was my time to go up against an offensive lineman, I was a defensive lineman. I got hit so hard that I saw stars. By the time I got to the end of the line again, I walked off the field. I quit. And I quit because I underestimated what it would take to play the game. When I quit, I just did not like the taste of quitting in my gut. You know, Fridays, everybody's wearing their jerseys, you know, you're playing a game on Friday night. And it just ate at me that I gave up. And so I made sure that I was going to go back and try the best that I could. And if the guy next to me was going to stick and stay, I was going to stick and stay. Had it not been for those guys who I played with, who encouraged me, they were my inspiration. Had it not been for those guys, I would not be sitting before you now as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I don't know if I'm answering the question like, you know, what's that? Okay. But it was a challenge for me when I was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I asked myself, how is it that I got to the Hall of Fame when there's so many guys who I was friends with who had far more talent than I way back then? And the reason why is I stuck in there, I stayed in there, I did what I had to do, and I did the work to get to that point, okay?
Well said, right? There's something we can all take out of it, right? You mentioned Pro Football Hall of Famer. He stopped playing the game of football, but you know, his teammates, camaraderie, we rely on so much community, right? Whether it's your friends, family, parents, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, teachers, right? They all play a role in your life. And Harry mentioned he has great teammates that he believes, you know, should be on that same level in the Hall of Fame with them. But football is that ultimate team game, right? It's not just a one-man job where Harry's going out there making all the plays on defense. They got to still be able to score points. So relying on teamwork is an important message that you guys can all take. Whether you guys play on sports teams, we're all on a team together in the team of life. Okay, with that, we are going to tune into our remote schools here that have some questions as well for you. So let's go to West Liberty. Please state your name and question. That way we can hear it here and Mr. Carson will answer for you.
Yeah. Like right there. Right there's fine. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay. Say who you are, say your name.
My name is Jalen, and our question is, what advice can you give young people about how to develop their character?
Didn't quite catch that. I heard your name's Caitlin. If you could repeat your question just a little bit louder.
Okay, louder. Yeah, no, right there is fine.
Okay. My name is Jalen, and the question we have is, what advice can you give young people about how to develop their character?
Okay, sorry about that. Jalen she said, what advice would you give to young students, young adults to develop their character? And I think character is such an important thing to have.
The one thing that I could, you know, there are two things that I wanted to leave with all of you, whether it's remotely or whether it's here. When I listened to my mother and she encouraged me to do things, she would always say, be nice to people. Be nice to people. And that is the way that I've always tried to conduct my life, being nice to people. Because if you're not, somebody that you might have had an issue with, that person down the road, you don't know what they're going to wind up doing. There are so many people who I had issues with or had issues with me. And, I think that they probably feel now, why would I have an issue with Harry Carson when, here's a guy who didn't do anything to anyone. And the only thing that I tried to do was just be as nice as I could, except on the football field. I tried to be a gangster on the football field, but I played fair. But the one thing that my mother always told me, be nice. And so I've always tried to be nice. I don't know if I've answered your question, but it's up to you. Because you're not going to be where you are right now next year or whatever. As you move forward, you have to just give yourself to causes. As we move forward, you have to develop relationships with people and have to work together for common causes and so forth. I don't know if I'm answering your question appropriately, but again, as my mother would say, be nice. The other thing that I want to say is this. Strive, everybody listen to me. Hey guys, just 1 second. In everything that you do, strive to be the best. Strive to be the best in whatever you do. Strive to be the best. If you don't hear anything else that I'm saying today, please remember that. Strive to try your best to give your best at whatever you do. Give your all, give your best.
Well said, well said. Really big thing here. I'll reinforce it. Strive to be the best, right? And going back to being nice, it really just takes the smallest thing each day, right? It's not a hard thing to do. Just go out of your way, do one nice thing each day, and then you develop that character, which is what Jalen was asking about. Okay, we got one more school here remotely, Maple Heights. So please state your name and what question you have for Mr. Carson.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here. My student was ill today, so I'm going to ask for Z from Maple Heights. He's a senior on the football team, and he was wondering, Harry, if you could tell a story from your childhood where something happened that you believed helped shape you into the man you are today. Thank you.
Oh, there are so many things that I saw as a kid, and I'm glad that I went in a different direction. As I was growing up in South Carolina, I can remember seeing men who were on the chain gang. They were wearing stripes on their tops and stripes in their pants. And somebody was with them with a shotgun, and they had to do what had to be done on the side of the road and so forth. I always said to myself, I do not ever want to have to go down that route to do something and wind up on the chain gang. That kept me straight. That kept me straight. And the other thing is, both my mother and my father, they did a lot of work to keep our family together. And so me doing and staying out of trouble was a gift to my mother and father. I am right now a father of 3 with 5 grandchildren. And the best thing that I can say is I got 3 young people who are my children, and they are the best people that I know. Have never given me a problem, and they've done their best to be the best people that they could be in the whole wide world.
Thank you. I think that's a great message. Okay. One thing that we do like to do, obviously for the students here today, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is located in the birthplace of professional football, Canton, Ohio. My colleague Jerry, we're going to go live to him in the museum. He's going to give you a little sample of what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is like, and he does have a question for Mr. Carson as well. So with that, we'll send it your way, Jerry.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Students, appreciate you guys tuning in here today. The live students there with Mr. Carson and with Jack, my teammate. Those students that are tuned in that are asked the great questions, as well as those that are tuned in as attendees. And then those that are tuning in over the YouTube live stream, we appreciate you guys' participation here today. I am here in arguably the most iconic gallery here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that's the Hall of Fame Gallery here in Canton, Ohio. And as you can kind of see, it's filled with the greatest football players of all time. Now, I want to give you guys an idea of just how big of an honor it is to have Harry Carson in front of you right now to talk to you about the values of the game and about things that he's learned in life. So think about this for a minute. Since the game of football has been played at all levels, there have been roughly 300 million people that have played the game. We break that down a little further. There have been about 5 million to play it at the college level. There have been about 29,000 that have been paid to play the sport professionally. And there are only 382 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And one of those gentlemen is the one speaking to you right now, Mr. Harry Carson. And so when we talk about respect, is one of the things that we learn about respect is when someone like this is speaking to you, this man has great wisdom and great things that he's learned throughout his life that he wants to impart into you today. And that he's taken time out of his busy day to do that. And so students, I encourage you to glean as much as you can from him today. I plead with you to do that. As even as a 47-year-old man, I take notes of what our Hall of Famers say because I learn from them every single day. And so with that being said, one of the favorite questions I have in this gallery, because the first thing that kind of comes to my mind when you think of this room, these busts, and Harry, you even said in your speech, 40,000 years, you know, I mean, when you think about this bronze bust, think about this for a second. The word legacy comes to mind, right? What do you want to be remembered by? And I know, Mr. Carson, it's bigger than just this bronze bust for you. And so what does legacy mean to you? And what is the legacy you want to leave to your family, your friends, and to this group here today?
Let me just beg you guys, whatever you're saying, stop and listen. To be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I asked myself, how is it that there are so many people in my ancestors, and I was that person to have the opportunity to play on such a level, to have a bus and have that bus be around for 40,000 years. And I can't help but think that God put me in that place to represent everybody in my family who came across the Atlantic Passage, the individuals who were slaves, who were my family members. And I just wanted to thank God for giving me the opportunity to create that legacy so that my kids, my grandkids, and future members of my family can look and see what their relative did. And so it may not be important to any of you, but it's important to me to be able to have done what I did as an athlete and have the opportunity to be honored in such a way. So I think of my ancestors who came here, some of which did not make it. And that is the thing that I think about probably more than anything else. I don't say it out loud, but I just hope that those who preceded me can say, well done, Harry, you did the family right.
Thank you, Mr. Carson. I appreciate that. And Jack, I'll send it back to you, my friend.
Thanks, Jared. And I think legacy is such an important message, right? Everybody in this room here today, everybody watching remotely, everybody has something special about them, right? Unique skills, unique passions. And you guys can take those passions and skills and make your own legacy. And I think that's something everybody can take a part in. Okay. I got one more question, and then we're gonna start to wrap up the program here. And I think obviously there's gonna be a big game tonight, right? Do we know who's playing tonight?
Who's
playing tonight?
Who's playing tonight?
Nobody knows. Somebody can shout at them. Eagles and Cowboys to kick off the 2025 season. Okay. Now, Harry, you obviously played for the Giants, so you're very familiar with both those teams being in the same division. What was it like for you getting ready for an opening night game?
I tell you what, both teams are probably very nervous right now because you're going to be on national television. You're opening the football season. But the other thing is the games that you've seen so far are games where they're like practice games. But the speed of what's going to happen tonight, it's going to be accelerated. And the guys in green, the guys who are the Eagles, I'm looking for them to be honored with the championship. I understand that they're not going to be out on the field when they hoist the flag, but the players who played for the Giants, the Washington, and also Philadelphia, we all respected one another, but we all hated the Dallas Cowboys. So if I'm going to root for somebody, it's the Eagles, not the Cowboys. So I hope it's a good game, and I think that because we loaned out Saquon Barkley, maybe you'll go to another Super Bowl this year.
Well said, well said. What a great day, guys, getting to listen to Harry Carson. And with that, being a Giant, we won't ask him who he's gonna win because he always wants the Giants to win. So we are gonna wrap up here for this session of Heart of a Hall of Famer, kicking off the 2025 school year. We thank you, and we'll give one more round of applause to 2006 Pro Football Hall of Fame member Harry Carson. Thank you, students. Thank you, schools, for tuning in remotely.
Thank you, guys.
We are going to wrap up here. Thank you.